Used smartphones, wow, that's been talked about a lot on this channel, hasn't it? So yeah, the past 5 years I've spent a lot of time talking about used smartphones, which ones are the best, and I believe last year or the year before, I can't remember how long ago it was now, I did a best list of my recommendations across sort of different spaces and different places, the best used smartphones to buy. So I thought I'd do one for 2021, given that recently I've done the best budget smartphones, so I thought I'd do the best used ones as well. So hey guys, I am Ryan Thomas, and this is my list of the best cheap budget used smartphones for 2021. A bit of a preface for this video, there will be Amazon affiliate links in the video description that give me a small kickback when you click and buy something through the link. However, again, you don't have to, so yeah. Right then, let's dive into the list. Actually, the top of this one is an iPhone SE 2020. Now, technically it is the outgoing model, so you know, it's not super old or anything like that, but it is quite a bargain on the used market if you're looking to replace your sort of iPhone 6, 7, 8, anything like that, as this device is basically one of those but with up-to-date internals. You can get one of these things for around £250 to £300, which is going to last you at least another 2, maybe even 3 years going into the future. Now, it's definitely not the most feature rich, it's not going to have the highest quality cameras, the highest quality anything basically, but for those who really value the style of the iPhone 6 and that kind of thing, this is going to match you down to the ground. Switching gears quite heavily now, we're onto a Huawei phone. It's the £170 to £200 P30 Pro, and many of you will know it to be the last Huawei phone that officially supported Google Apps. It has a big, decent screen, decent performance, great battery life, modern design, a fantastic camera setup. It's a really good package for the money. Now, it's not going to get the latest software updates. It's, I believe, locked to Android 9 or 10. I'll have to correct myself on the screen. But as someone who has more recently actually used this in person, you don't need the latest software. It might raise security concerns, but for the most part, it should be alright, and you should be alright with one of these going for at least another year or two. Next up is the sole OnePlus phone on this list, the OnePlus 7T. This device has Android 11 and looks really clean. I know that there have been some software issues, but people who I know personally who own these things haven't had problems, so I'm not sure if that's just a mixed bag across the board, but there are software tweaks out there to fix the issues. On the camera front, the OnePlus 7T really isn't that good. It's got decent cameras, like good enough for most people, but it doesn't have like iPhone level or Pixel level or even Samsung S flagship level cameras. What it does have going for it though is fantastic performance. This thing is rocking a Snapdragon 855 and it's giving you as much performance as you realistically need right now. If you're a really heavy gamer, this thing is still going to be good enough for you. It's not the latest and greatest, a few generations behind at this point, but for the money, £250 to £300 will get you a good condition one of these. You're getting a lot of smartphone, and so that's why I had to put it on this list, as it's believed by many, including the wonderful Damien Wilde, to be the best OnePlus phone that they ever made. You don't think I'd miss this one out, do you? The Galaxy S10 is a phone that I recently used longer term and I found to be more than usable in 2021. The shape and size is ideal for me, the performance, camera, display and battery are all up to standard, and you get Samsung's class-leading One UI software skin, which makes for a premium and modern feeling user experience in an easily attainable £200 package. Not to mention the fantastic 3.5mm headphone port, the IP rating, the wireless charging, lots of modern features, and if you really want to spend a little bit more, you can get the 5G version as well. This phone is just a brilliant package and one that I recommend to many looking for a slightly older Samsung with a lot of modern features. For £200, you're really not going to go wrong here. The second and final Apple device on this list is the iPhone 11. It's a phone that me, Alex and Damien have all owned and appreciate it. For some reason I never really connected with the iPhone 12. I think it was probably just the squared off edges. Like, they look fantastic, don't get me wrong, but ergonomically they just weren't as sound as the rounded edges on the iPhone. That's why they've been rounded for so long, because it's ergonomic. The 11 also has brilliant performance. I mean, that's going to stay the same going for the next year or so. It also has a brilliant camera setup, really good screen. I know it's not 1080p, it's not an OLED, but it's still a really good screen. If you're actually using it day to day and you're not sweating the details, it's still a fantastic screen. I also got excellent battery life out of it, and whilst the charging wasn't amazing, you did get wireless charging as an option as well. Face ID is unfortunately not ideal during the masked times that we're in right now, but hopefully going forward in the future that's not going to be much of an issue. A still relatively up-to-date iPhone for £350 for a good unit. I think that's a really good recipe. So yeah, do check out the iPhone 11 if you want an up-to-date iPhone that isn't going to completely burn a hole in your pocket. And the final phone on this list, the last time I'm going to be able to include it because it's starting to get a little bit old at this point, is the Galaxy Note 9. A bit of a classic for me. It's one of the best designed smartphones in my opinion that's ever been made, with the horizontally opposed camera layout on the back, the rear placed fingerprint scanner, the uninterrupted display, so no punch hole, but no mechanism to raise the camera up out of the top. Instead you get some very small bezels on the top and the bottom, and of course minimal bezels on the sides. I think this is just a recipe for success, especially when you consider that you get the S Pen, a 4000 mAh battery, a bunch of up-to-date components. I say up to date very loosely there. It's still pretty usable, and I'd say going for the next year it's going to be usable, but anything past that you're going to want to upgrade. That's why I put it right at the back of the list, and also again I had to bring it up as it's one of my favourite phones of all time and probably the last time I can recommend it. And that concludes my list of the best used smartphones on the market. I really wanted to include more on this list, but it was getting pretty long at this point and I wanted to keep it relatively tight. There are loads of other options, like the iPhone 10 for example, I think is a really good option for a smaller iPhone that's still high quality. The Galaxy S20, because it's come down quite a bit in price despite the fact that in some ways it's actually better than the S21. There are a bunch of other options. Let me know in the comments which ones you'd add to the list and give the price alongside it, and obviously in different markets it's going to be different for different people. I included my pricing from eBay UK, however you can buy a lot of these smartphones from sort of Facebook Marketplace, Gumtree, eBay, Craigslist, anything like that, and Amazon. I'll leave those links in the video description. I want to give a massive shout out to my patrons, and check out my Patreon page in the link in the video description along with all my other social medias. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment and subscribe if you're new around here to never miss a video like this one. I've been Ryan Thomas, and I'll catch you later. Peace.